Hi, Angela. Elaine Rivera, principal here at Farrell. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I had a chance to look over your resume, and I noticed that you have taught reading and language arts at the middle school level. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. So, as you know, we obviously have our reading coach position open. So let's go ahead and get started.
Excellent.
Okay. So tell me, when you hear the word coaching, what does that mean to you?
The first word that comes to mind when I hear the word coach is collaboration.
Okay.
And support, that's another big one. Also, helping. I feel that a coach is someone who can guide you and be there for you and lead you.
Excellent. Okay. Perfect. Okay, tell me, when you think about your typical day as a coach, what types of things do you think you'll be doing?
I could see myself guiding the faculty during a faculty meeting on different strategies or any research-based strategies that the school might be implementing at the time.
Okay.
I could also see myself guiding PLCs with different grade levels.
Mm-hmm.
And working with the teachers one-on-one and coaching them, as well as working with the students one-on-one.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, and we do that. We've done that where we have our reading coach present to the staff during those faculty meetings. It's a great time to get everyone together. Okay. How would you have an effective coaching conversation with teachers in a single gender school such as ours?
Well, I think that the coaching model will work for a co-ed or single gender school. Definitely, teachers sometimes just want you to give them the answers, and as a coach, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to kind of get them to get there on their own, and you just kind of probe them by saying, well, how do you think we should solve this, or what steps would you take? And I would definitely do that, but I would also try to keep in mind that being that it is an all-girls school, girls tend to act a little differently, and so they have to be catered to differently. I know that they probably take a little bit more time when completing assignments. They talk a lot. I'm sure that there's a lot of drama and things like that. So if I can provide any coaching, in those areas, I would do whatever I can to help them address those issues.
Okay, great. How would I be able to tell that you had a successful first year at our school if you are a reading coach?
I definitely think data speaks for itself. So your reading data and your writing data would definitely increase. But most importantly, I think your culture and the rapport that is built among the staff can say a lot about my work here at your school.
Okay. Now, I know you mentioned professional learning communities would be one thing that you would imagine would be a task for you. How do you see yourself working with those professional learning teams?
One of my biggest pet peeves is that when students are learning, teachers have to think of all sorts of ways to engage them. But when it comes to PLCs and trainings, for teachers, it's often just a PowerPoint and a person standing up there reading from it, and there's no engagement. So if I were to do a PLC at your school, I would absolutely make sure that there was engagement, takeaways, collaborative grouping and structures going on that they would be participating in, and then they could in turn say, oh my goodness, I could use this in the classroom. So just something that doesn't leave them there twiddling their thumbs.
Excellent. So you would almost demonstrate those engagement activities
Yes.
with the teachers throughout their PLCs. That's wonderful. I really like that. Okay. As a coach, how would you develop trust with these teachers?
One of the biggest issues that teachers have when it comes to coaches is they're afraid that whatever is said between them is going to get back to somebody. Mm-hmm. And I feel that by being a good listener and, trying to support them in any way that I can, and just being honest with them and telling them, if I will not say anything unless you want me to address this with whoever it is or isn't. Like sometimes there might be a rift among team members or something, and instead of perhaps coming out and just saying so-and-so doesn't get along with you, what's going on, maybe I could just at a PLC do, some team building, and perhaps, we could address it that way.
Excellent. Okay. What makes for a successful demonstration lesson? I know in your previous response you talked about being more engaging and actually putting those engaging strategies in. So
Yes.
tell me a little bit more about that.
I think not just engagement, but it has to have validity. So anything that you bring to the teachers, they have to feel that it applies to them. They can use it in the classroom, that it's research based so that, other people have used this and it has worked. So they need to see that, and whether it's, video proof or any kind of documented proof that I could bring in and also have them take part in is really big, because you want them to have as many ahas as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. Research-based definitely weighs well with teachers. So, okay, what is the role of data in the work of a coach?
Well, here's the thing. Teachers have to have their instruction data-driven, but my coaching is not data-driven. So, for example, a teacher may not know how to use their data to drive their instruction. What I would do is come in and help them analyze that data and use that data to differentiate groups, and so they could set up different interventions, and find the best intervention for the students at whatever level that they're at.
Okay, great. Describe a time for me when you worked collaboratively to make a difference in your school.
When I worked at my middle school that I was at for 6 years, I worked on several different committees. One of them was a behavioral committee and positive behavior reinforcement.
Okay.
So that was something that we, and when I say we, it was really myself and another teacher that we were very close and actually had gone to high school together, so we worked really well together. And we supported the assistant principal in her thoughts, and we kind of contributed to ideas, and we were able to carry it out throughout the school, and it turned out really well, and the students responded really well, and we saw a decrease in referrals.
Excellent. And so what was the positive behavior
Well, it really-
plan that you put into effect?
It was different for different varying people, but
Okay.
it was basically an incentive reward kind of thing, where they got points and it added up to either you could get an item or maybe participate in the school dance, things like that. So they were striving to get rewards, basically.
To work towards
Right.
something.
Mhm.
Okay, great. All right, our last question. Tell me, why do you want to be a coach?
I love coaches. I'm going to say that right now. I feel that as an educator and as a person, you can always learn. You never stop learning, and there's always room for improvement. As a teacher, I have had experience with really awesome coaches and some really horrible ones. And even though I've had those experiences with horrible coaches, it is the awesome experiences that I've had with the good coaches that kept me wanting to work with them, and still keeps that faith that they're actually there to do good. And so I want to be a coach because I want to make sure that there's more good coaching going around than not so good coaching, because I've seen what to do and what not to do, and I definitely don't want to be somebody that is a pot stirrer or facilitates drama. I want to be someone who will be there for not just the staff but the school, because I want to build the best relationships with my teachers because I want them to succeed.
Excellent. Well, Angela, thank you so much for your time. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming in, and we'll be speaking shortly.
All right, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.